Okay. Hey everybody. Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to do a live reaction to the Onewheel GT XL that just got announced about an hour ago. This thing is, well, $3,500 to start, and it goes top speed at 25 miles an hour with a range of up to 28 miles an hour. Now compared to the GTS, which this is based off of, that is the same top speed, 3 miles an hour or 3 miles longer range potentially, and $600 more. There's more to this board than just that, and I wanted to discuss some of what they show off in this video here with everybody. But before I get straight into this, I did want to say I have had a Onewheel since 2019. I started with the Onewheel Pint because it was the cheapest board, and it was my 30th birthday. I wanted to really spoil myself. So I bought it, and it was one of those rare moments where what you think you'll love and what you actually love were the same thing. So I love that board. I put maybe, gosh, I feel like 800 miles or something on it. It could be more. Between then and around the time the lockdown happened from the pandemic. And I was able to sell that $900 board for $800. Bought myself an XR, had that, rode that, loved that. And then I bought a Onewheel GT when that launched. I bought a Onewheel GTS after my Onewheel GT took a dump and they had the trade-in program. I bought a Onewheel XRC because I wanted to make video content on that. And if you're looking for that video, I don't have it. I have the footage. Never made the video. It's a problem with being ADD. When projects take more than like one time to do, I just don't do it. So I'm working on that. It may come out soon, but right now I have two boards, the Onewheel GTS and the Onewheel XRC. I think they are currently the best boards that Future Motion makes. And if you're looking to get a brand new board, either one of those are really, really cool, but they're really heavy price points to pay for someone who's just kind of curious or interested in. So I'll get to that a little bit more later on, I guess, because really what we're trying to talk about is the Onewheel GT XL that they announced today. So I've tested this video already once before, and I'm going to do my best to not talk unless it's points that are important. But let's watch this video together, and I'm going to mute my mic, and we can just see what's going on.
We're dialed!
I don't want to go back to the GTS.
Today, the biggest and baddest Onewheel is getting bigger and badder. We spent a lot of time working with the factory team. Series Rally Edition, and we
Okay, here is where we get a really good look at the board, and I want to talk about this very specifically. So here we have a 12-inch tire, which is like an inch or an inch and a half bigger than the one that's currently on the GTS series and the XRC and so on. It's got the 6-inch hub, which is only on the GTS Rally Edition or the XRC. Otherwise, you're getting a 6.5-inch hub in their GT. The smaller the hub, the bigger the tire. The bigger the tire, the more comfortable the ride. So specifically, them making a bigger tire here for the GT XL makes sense because they state explicitly in the beginning of this video that this is made for people who are interested in riding trails. So if that's not you, if you're thinking about cruising through the city or having it like in your trunk so it can be like your last mile ride, this is not the board for you. But if you're a Onewheel enthusiast, you like all the different rides, and you're curious about what they are, then this might be something worth getting. But this board has a bigger tire. It has a wider stance by about an inch. And I think that's just to compensate for the bigger tire itself. And then it has a slightly extended range from where you are with the GTS. That goes from a top range of 25 miles an hour or 25 miles to 28. But I can tell you from firsthand experience, as a person who's 6'4" and about 205 to 210 pounds, this board overall, will probably get me about, say, 15, 16 miles range. It's on that low end where I get it. I doubt I'd even get 18. Because even on my GTS series, I get, well, recently I rode it 12 miles and it died at 15% because of some issue with the cells in the battery. And that's a problem I'm still trying to troubleshoot right now. But this board is pretty cool. They specifically mention in this video. The new performance tire, how great it goes up hills. We'll watch this because this guy actually is pretty good. If you're a bigger guy, this is important for you to listen to.
Was less afraid. I think more than anything, this board has helped build a lot of confidence. It's showed me what I'm actually capable of doing.
Let's talk about batteries. So this has a 113 volt powertrain like the GTS series, but we're using the new P50B cell from Molicel. This is the state-of-the-art 21700 cell. It has the highest power. It has the most capacity. So that translates into more power, more torque, and more range. With the new cells, you're going to get about 12% more range than a GTS series.
This is the biggest hill I have ever done or even attempted. And this board is literally pulling me. This is insane, actually. Power difference is incredibly noticeable. I struggled to get up hills on the GT, and then when I purchased the GTS Rally, I started to be able to climb. I felt like that was already a huge improvement, and I was able to keep up with my crew in New York. Now, with this GTS Rally XL, I can keep up with everybody going uphill, which is insane. Braking capability, unreal. Woo! Holy hell. Wow.
What are you most excited about?
Probably the brakes. We've been able to climb steep stuff for a while with the GTS, but the ability to turn around and go back down a steep hill and stop and like keep a slow speed down it is just going to open up a whole lot of terrain.
Okay, that's something I'm gonna mute this and we can keep watching while I'm talking. That is something that I find really significant about this board, is that you can brake going downhill apparently much more noticeably. I think the braking is probably one of the weakest parts on the board, specifically when it comes to going downhill. There's a certain point where you can try and brake as much as you want, but your tail's going to scrape the ground, and you may even gain speed up to a certain threshold. And if the braking really is improved here, that is so awesome and important for safety. And I hope that's a trickle-down effect that hits all of their boards when they come to like the next iteration of them all. Okay, we'll unmute this now.
50% more torque than that. So you're really extending the range of the board. It's giving you the ability to rock crawl, to climb up hills, to have absolute control when you're descending tech sections, while also having the high-speed performance of GTS series.
When you thought it couldn't get any better, and it did. Yeah! No resistance up this hill, just power the whole time.
All right, so we know that the Rally XL has 50% more torque than the normal S series, and a lot of that is at low and medium speed. So we're gonna do a off-the-line acceleration test to see how noticeable that difference in torque is. You ready, Mercedes?
The XL.
I just want to point out that in this super slow-mo video, where it should be very obvious that one's so much better than the other, it is so little. This board is a performance board for performance riders, for people who know they want one wheels, and everyone else is just kind of like, it's not for you. So I think we can more or less skip, because there's not much else to say about this board. It has the bigger tire, which gives it bigger traction on the ground, which is really, really awesome. But overall, this is just a GTS with a bit of upgrades that I think most people just wouldn't see the benefit of. So if you know this board is for you, then you know this board is for you. But everyone else, it is just clearly not the board for you. And I recommend, if you're going to get a board, go private party, look on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, the Onewheel Marketplace on Facebook Marketplace. I use OfferUp to buy or sell my boards. And that's historically how I've been able to find cheap boards and sell them as well. And you may not be getting a warranty, but you're finding a cheap buy-in to see if this is actually one of those things that you'll like or love. Not everyone is into Onewheel. It seems like a really fun thing, and I believe it is. It's my favorite toy that I own. But it is just not for everyone. They're rad, but when they fail, and they do from time to time, people have been killed because of those accidents, or seriously injured. Myself, I've torn my shoulder on a fall. I've damn near broke both my wrists, and I have fractured my elbow. Back in 2020, when my XR just took a dump on me, even though it had like 15% left. Why does it do that? Well, apparently there's a reason. I don't know, technologically speaking, why, but there is. So that is to say, the GTS, well, rather the GT XL, which is maybe a smart name because calling it the GTS XL, the GT XL, that would have been cool. Why didn't they do that? But the GT XL here is a pretty cool board. It's got a really great flow and style to it. But at the end of the day, it's just for those people, again, at the really top end who are interested on getting one of the best boards that they can possibly buy. And if you're trying to win the next race for the rail, awesome. Then this is totally for you. But other than that, this board I think is just not really noteworthy in the grand scheme of Onewheels. So that is my thoughts on this. I won't be getting one unless Future Motion wants to send one my way. And you guys can support my channel, of course, by doing the like, subscribe, and commenting below. But you also can support my art and my jewelry business. I make gemstone jewelry all inspired by anime characters. My biggest collection right now is Pokemon. This one is a new one I haven't even released yet. It's Armored Mewtwo, which I think is so rad. I'm loving it. Amethyst, this stone called Tiffany, purple jasper, and some quartz, and some black faceted hematite. So with that being said, I did want to say if you have questions on any of the Onewheels, curious about getting one for yourself or maybe my personal experience on them, throw them in the comments below. I'd love to share my experience with you. And if for some reason it warrants another video, I can come back and do something like this and answer them there. Or perhaps you'll find me getting around to finally editing my XRC review and my GTS review. But if I were to give those boards like a rating out of 10, the XRC, I'd say it's like a 9 out of 10. It's a really, really good board. The GTS, somewhere around an 8. The only thing I want on my GTS is longer range, and all of the boards could be lighter. They're heavy, and when the battery dies and you have to carry them on your head, it's the worst. It's the worst. Okay, that's it. See you guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time.